Approaching 30 and desperate to get married, I was constantly asking friends, "Don't you know any good guys?" That's how I met Jeff, through a friend of a friend. We dated for just under a year and decided to get married. But 2 months into our marriage, I had reached my breaking point. I wanted a divorce as soon as possible. There were some red flags while we were dating, but my desire to get married was so strong that I ignored all of Jeff's flaws. I was the epitome of hindsight is 2020. My name is Olive. I'm 29 and I work as a nurse. Jeff, who was 8 years older, is an incredibly vain and dishonest man. First of all, he lied about his job title. Jeff was just a supermarket clerk, not holding any position he claimed. I don't mean to be judgmental, but he told me he was the store manager, and since he was 37, I believed him. But the lie was exposed when we were deciding on wedding guests, and he said, "We have to invite the store manager and assistant manager." What? You said you were the store manager, right? When I asked Jeff, he casually revealed, "I never said that. I said I want to be the store manager, someday." Exposed, quietly. What's that? You were lying? I was quite shocked and felt betrayed, but the wedding venue was already booked, and we had met each other's families. "If you don't like it, that's fine. We don't have to get married," Jeff threatened, and I regret saying, "No, let's get married." "You didn't fall in love with my job title, but with me, right? The details don't matter, so just follow me." Is that so? Jeff was trying to act cool, but frankly, he looked foolish. If that's the case, don't lie about being the store manager in the first place. I wanted to point that out, but I kept quiet to avoid a fight. The next lie was about our house. This lie led to us living with Jeff's family. Since Jeff and I were both living with our parents before marriage, I suggested, "Let's build a house halfway between our parents' homes." I had a strong desire for a new single-family home. I grew up in a run-down rental house, and I wanted my own home after getting married. I had been saving diligently for that. Jeff agreed immediately, so our dates often involved visiting housing expeditions, and we met with many real estate agents. But when it was time to narrow down our choices, shall we go with the place we saw last week? Being near an elementary school is good, right? When I asked, Jeff said, "My sister says living near an elementary school is noisy. She wants to be near a convenience store. And my mom wants to be near a hospital. My dad just wants the place to display his puzzles." What? Why are your sister-in-law, mother-in-law, and father-in-law's wishes coming to this? I was surprised because I thought Jeff and I would live alone. What? You knew this all along, right? I'm the eldest son. We're building a new two-family house. So of course, the family will live together. This was news to me. I had been talking about a home for just the two of us, and I thought Jeff had agreed. If you're going to say that, I'm the eldest daughter and my mom is alone at home. Jeff's house has both his father and mother, right? You're a woman and I'm a man. Our positions are different. Besides, your mother has accepted that her daughter is getting married. That's true, but I didn't hear about that. I'm an only daughter, and I was initially worried about my mother living alone, so I wanted to marry, but I couldn't find a man who met my conditions. My mother told me, "I'm fine, so think about your happiness first." That's when I started dating Jeff, but I didn't say anything. But look, my sister doesn't work, and my mom and dad are living on their pensions. We, as the eldest son's family, have to support them. Wait a minute, don't include me in that so casually. I can't accept that my sister-in-law is included, let alone my in-laws. I don't want to work because I want to play every day, she seems to say. My mother-in-law has a similar personality to sister-in-law, and my father-in-law is quiet, but he just lazes around, watching TV and doing jigsaw puzzles with mother-in-law and sister-in-law, never doing any housework. What? You're the eldest son's wife! Don't you want to support the family? I was speechless. Is this guy serious? If so, he can support them on his own salary. My dream of a new single-family home is rapidly deflating. Jeff is adamant. "I'm not backing down. If you don't like it, we can divorce." If that's the case, let's live with your family. For now. I think this was my best play. I postponed building a house. I didn't want to waste the money I had saved for my dream home when I was single. So we moved in with Jeff's family after getting married. Jeff works at a supermarket, and I'm a nurse, so we both work shifts. I also work nights. Soon after moving in, I was awakened by mother-in-law pulling off my blanket and slapping me awake, saying, You're a failure as a wife if you sleep all day. I just got home and I have to work tomorrow night. Stop complaining and do the housework. Make her lunch. Wait, what are you doing? I silently pushed mother-in-law out of the room. This is no joke. I'm tired. Olive, who do you think you are? I heard mother-in-law still making noise in the hallway, but I ignored her. I locked the door, put in earplugs, and went back to sleep. I woke up around 3 p.m. and did the housework. It's strange. Why do I have to do all the housework and work when there are 3 other healthy adults in this house? Then my husband came home. Hey, Olive, I heard you were home but didn't make lunch for Mom and the others. I was tired. They make and eat their own food when I'm not here, so they can do the same when I'm asleep. Jeff scolded me while his parents and sister-in-law watched, smirking behind him. What about your work? You said you were working until tonight. I left early because my sister called about a family emergency. Just because I didn't make lunch? Are you stupid? Oh, I accidentally spoke my mind. I added fuel to the fire and got scolded even more by Jeff. Is marriage always this hard on the wife's side? I never had a moment's peace in my in-laws' house, so I often made excuses to go home to my parents when I was tired or had a day off. My mother welcomed me without a word. I wanted to divorce, but couldn't say it. Then, the talk of moving to my parents' house came up. They want us to move out next year? Currently, the rental house where my mother lives is leaking quite badly. The landlord has decided to demolish it rather than make extensive repairs. That's right. It's not immediate, though. But there are shelter cats, so it has to be a pet-friendly apartment. After my father passed away, my mother began volunteering to temporarily care for stray and lost cats. Though it was a rented house, it was nearly 50 years old, and the landlord was understanding. So it was possible. Then I'll help you look too. I found a good reason to spend time on my days off. It's good for my mother, and I love looking at properties myself. It was more than killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It was like killing 3. While visiting several real estate agents, a single-family home is a dream within a dream, my mother muttered. Wait, if I divorce, that would solve the problem, right? A house is a lifetime purchase, and I want to live with someone I genuinely want to be with. Oh? Cat ear construction. It was a construction company we happened to find, but there were pictures of cats on the sign, and a banner in front of the entrance read, "Homes for Cat Lovers." We couldn't help but go into the store. The shop assistant was a very friendly woman. "We have something called a catio, an outdoor cage." She enthusiastically explained the facilities they could provide. Apparently, there are sunrooms for cats who like to bask in the sun and large cages that allow cats to safely go outside through their own entrance. We listened intently and took many brochures. As we left the store, I declared, "I'm going to divorce and live with my mom." "What are you talking about all of a sudden?" My mother was surprised, but said nothing more. I can't imagine Jeff, my in-laws, or sister-in-law changing, and the harassment will likely get worse. I have no intention of just going along with it. When I got home, it was already evening. I hurriedly prepared dinner. I put the brochures in an eco bag on the sofa to look at later. The laundry I had hung out in the morning was still there, and the cereal and spoons that my in-laws and sister-in-law had eaten for lunch were left exactly as they were on the kitchen table. "You're always out and about, even though you're a wife. I'm starving." "Sorry, but sister-in-law could have made it too." "What? That's not funny." Sister-in-law was pouting angrily, but I decided not to care. We'll be strangers soon anyway. When my husband came home late, he yelled, "Hey, there's only $700 in the joint account for this month's living expenses." "Oh, sorry. There was some office trouble and my salary is delayed," I lied. "All right, make sure to deposit it as soon as you get paid. Otherwise, we'll divorce." "Okay." Actually, last month, when we moved in together, we discussed how to handle living expenses. Jeff insisted that I put almost all of my $2,500 salary, and he would put $700 into a joint account. He said the rest would be his allowance, but that was unacceptable. I insisted on equal amounts, and by hook or by crook, I've only put in $700 for the last 2 months. After that, the days continued without much change. I consulted a lawyer, prepared for divorce, organized my belongings, tidied up my parents' house, and was busy with work. Jeff and I never had the same days off, but recently he started going out with his parents and sometimes sister-in-law. I thought it was unusual, but it was convenient for me as well. One day, Jeff said, "I've bought a newly built two-family house. We're going to sign the loan contract together next Monday. Just so you know, if you oppose, we'll divorce." He even showed me the divorce papers. What? A house? What do you mean? You brought home housing brochures, didn't you? Well, I went with another major manufacturer, but since we're building it, according to your wishes, I'll need all your savings. I had indeed told him about my home savings fund when we were touring real estate agents together, but... Can I see those divorce papers, please? My mind went blank at this shocking turn of events, but this was actually a chance. I meekly took the divorce papers, looking down. They were filled out properly, with even my in-laws' names in the witness section. I almost burst out laughing. Jeff didn't know I was preparing for a divorce, so he was trying to make me obey by threatening me with the thing I hated most, divorce. How naive. I used to hate the idea of divorce, but now I want to get divorced as soon as possible. I quickly signed the divorce papers and submitted them the next morning. I hadn't brought any large items like furniture, and I had been moving things out little by little. Though it was an easy move. I went straight back to my parents' house. I ignored all the calls and emails from Jeff, even though I didn't come home that night. Later, my ex-husband came to my parents' house. He was furious, and so were my in-laws and sister-in-law. "Hey, what's going on? Why haven't you come back home?" "I just got divorced because you gave me the divorce papers," I answered calmly. "Don't mess with me! I built a house!" "You built a house without consulting me. You said if I opposed, we'd divorce, so that's on you." Perhaps because we were at my parents' house, mother-in-law was more subdued than usual. "Olive? Jeff must have been joking." Joking with real divorce papers is in very poor taste. I'm getting divorced because our personalities don't match at all. That's the #1 reason for divorce. Sister-in-law also screamed, "We'll be in trouble without you! Who will pay the living expenses? Who will pay the mortgage?" I replied, "Well, that's for your family to figure out. I'm a stranger now. Why do I need to take care of a healthy sister-in-law in the first place?" Father-in-law didn't say anything but glared at me. "I never thought you were such a cold woman," Jeff said. "Oh, that's what they call a difference in values. See? Another perfect reason for divorce," I teased. When I consulted with my lawyer, I was told that it's not easy to get a divorce based solely on personality differences or differences in values. However, in Jeff's case, he lied about his profession and income, and his usual behavior was nothing short of moral harassment. He unilaterally tried to make me pay all the living expenses. The last straw was when he bought a two-family house without my consent and threatened me with a filled-out divorce application. The reasons for divorce were clear. "I won't accept a divorce." Even if you say you won't accept it, you wrote it yourself, and father-in-law and mother-in-law are witnesses, aren't they? I showed him the screen of my mobile phone. It was good that I took a photo before submitting it to the office. Then my mother appeared, filming with her mobile phone. "What do you think you're doing to my daughter? I've called the police. I'm recording all of this. I can't make it public." My mother was furious, though she hadn't said anything to me. Father-in-law was panicked by my mother's intensity. Calling the police is troublesome. It's bad for our public image. Stop it." I thought father-in-law was a man who never spoke, but it seems he does at times like this. I realized in a strange way that Jeff's vanity was inherited from his father. With that, Jeff and the others retreated in disgrace. "What are we going to do? We can't pay the loan. There's nothing to do but cancel it." I heard their conversation, but if it was after the main contract, there would be a penalty for cancellation. And with Jeff's income alone, a house would be impossible. Serves him right. Afterward, perhaps concerned about public image, the compensation money from the divorce trial was transferred without issue. And a few months later, my mother's and my dream house was completed. A newly built, single-family house by Cat Ear Construction, perfect for our rescue cats to live comfortably. The construction company, knowing my mother's activities, built a perfect house for us at a much lower price than the market rate. Both my mother and I were thrilled. I rushed and made a big mistake. But if I hadn't married, I probably wouldn't have thought to build this house. Watching the cats basking in the sun and sleeping contentedly, I began to think that all's well that ends well.